What's up, YouTube? So, per usual, I'm gonna just get right into this message. It's Sunday. Yes, I'm in my pajamas. Got vitamin E oil on my face and my lips. You know, I'm just chilling. Gonna read and clean up after this, get ready for the week. But I had something I wanted to talk to you guys about, and it's how I found my husband. But don't get it twisted. I didn't find my husband. I attracted my husband, energy wise. And he actually found me. And for the most part, I believe that a husband is gonna find his wife. So let me just tell y'all. Okay, yeah, I was 21. Yeah, I was 21, and I had just gotten out of an abusive relationship. I was with this dude for 6 years. He cheated on me and all kinds of stuff, and it left me kind of in a dark place. And I was in Atlanta. I had just moved to Atlanta. And Atlanta is a whole different monster, when it comes to men. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, and men out there, they're not really, that's not what this is about. Anyway, when I moved to Atlanta, it was a lot worse when it came to men and just their mentality and how they carry themselves. And I know the type of woman I am. And, it took me years to finally realize that I shouldn't have been in that relationship, and fear of being alone, fear of nobody loving me, which is rooted in insecurity. I would never find that. So I guess I kind of stayed because it was comfortable, regardless of all the things I went through with him and things of that nature. Just comfortability kept me there. We shared bills and stuff. And so, like I said, it took me a while to get out of that mentality. And so, I was trying to talk to men and stuff like that, and it just wasn't doing it for me, because I became aware of who I am as a woman and what that means, and just started to respect myself. I used to not respect myself, not respect who I was. I would let any man come around me, and not like that, but I was a little too open, I feel like. And so one day I was just I'm done. I'm done with all this. I changed my number. I was 21. So this happened November 2015-ish. And I was just I'm done. I'm done wasting my time. I'm done just talking to any and every dude. I was on my way of trying to go vegan. And, just became self-aware. So this is obviously after, I've had my spiritual awakening and stuff. And so I was just I'm done, I'm done playing these games with myself, with my heart, and I need to really step up my game. So I wrote down a list, y'all. I wrote down a list. And I know I can't remember, recall everything that was on that list, but, the things that I do remember, I was he has to be vegan or trying to go vegan, that's the one, and then I'm really passionate about finding the truth as far as God goes, religion, and just being woke. And so I really wanted somebody who was seeking knowledge just like me, and wanted to know the truth and live in truth. And just somebody that was always down to evolve. I'm not a person who likes to be stagnant. If you've been following me, I'm doing this one day, and then the next day I could be doing something totally different. And there's a pattern in my life of every year I'm in a completely different position than I was the year before. It's been consistent ever since I moved out of my mom's house. I'm dang, a whole year ago I was doing this. So I needed somebody who could keep up with me, because I'm always going, man, okay, this don't work, I'm about to go try this doesn't work. So I needed somebody who could keep up with that, and liked to travel. So those are things that were really important to me, and I wrote them down along with probably a whole lot of other stuff, probably somebody who didn't hit me, and you know, a respectable man and somebody who will love me, you know, like a real love. And so after that, I didn't play no games. I didn't have intercourse with anyone. I did not give my body to anyone. I again, I changed my number so that way, you know, when I was feeling lonely or sad, I didn't just like go hit up some random person, you know what I mean? And I really kept my word. And I think that has a lot to do with it, because I feel like sometimes, you know, with anything, especially like us women wanting to find that man, is we get lonely and we start settling, I feel like. And it might not be a bad dude, but, you know, I just felt like I wasn't going to talk to any guy who didn't meet all the criteria. You couldn't miss one thing on here. And that was important to me, you know. And so again, like I was saying, I just, in anything in life, especially when it comes to the people you want to attract, I feel like when you write something down, or you come to this conclusion, you feel convicted in your heart and you're like, okay, this is what I want, you really have to not entertain anything else other than what you want, because I feel like that confuses God, and you're putting out energy that doesn't match. Like, okay, you're saying this but you're living like this, you know what I mean? So I really stuck to it. Like, I really stuck to it. And you know, the crazy thing is, my husband, he actually was following me before I came to this. Like, we were following each other on like Instagram and stuff like that. I never really like, because I wasn't really into dudes, like I didn't like really look on guys' pages or anything, or even think about them. You know, they were kind of just like there, but I didn't pay attention. So he was like in my inbox and stuff a lot, but we always laugh and joke about this now, because I like totally ignored him for a long time, y'all. But he was just in my inbox consistently, you know. And finally, in August of 2016. So at this point, we've known each other for at least a year, like via social media. And we had like FaceTime one time before that too. And like we were just like smiling at each other and stuff. And like I always just felt like, I never met him, but like I would just be nervous. I don't know why. I think like that's my spirit, my soul knowing that, you know, we was gonna be together. But so in August, I'm like, you know what, this guy, he's been super consistent. I've been keeping it to myself, and something just told me, you know, like, invite him to this thing. So I invited him and he came, and like on that day we just like, we clicked, y'all. We clicked so much. Like, I don't know, our energy was just like feeding off of each other's energy. It's really funny. And like he came and we just had fun, you know, and eventually down the road we started hanging out more, and, you know, moved in, became boyfriend and girlfriend. Now we're, you know, husband and wife and stuff. And then like we talk about it, and, you know, I told him around the time, like before I met him, like what I was going through. And he was like, well, you know, before I met you, we were actually just talking about this last night. He was saying that he like was out at a club or something, and he came home and he said that he prayed to God. He didn't write his down. He like prayed, spoke it out loud. And he was just like, man, God, like, you know, I just want somebody I could be real with. Because he's like, he grew up woke. Like his granddad like wrote a lot of books about like, you know, black people in the Bible, and, you know, just his family is really aware. So like growing up, he's always had this like, awareness. And, you know, if you're on that path, you know, it's hard to kind of like be authentic with people for the most part. Like when you find God, or, you know, when you get your spiritual awakening and stuff, and you want a deeper meaning in life, a lot of people aren't really on that, especially if you're in a certain environment where everyone's like turning up and, you know, just their mindset's not there. So, you know, we both went through that, where it was like we were always deep people but didn't really have anyone to talk to about that kind of stuff. So, you know, that's where he was coming from. He's like, I'm just tired of like being surface with people, like, oh, you know, how's the weather, or talking about basketball and stuff, and really wanted somebody who wouldn't judge him, and you know, could have like open dialect with them, somebody who was hungry for the truth, who wanted to see God, and also, of course, go vegan. So it was just like, oh my God, like this is God. This is really God, like putting this together. And so like before we actually met, we both, felt in our hearts like, we had to change. Like you can't just keep living like this, because your spirit tells you when something's not right. Your spirit will let you know, you want something more out of life. And so we both listened to that. We both knew that we wanted deeper connection with the person that we were going to be with, and then acted on it. So whatever we felt like we had to do or not do, we stuck to it, because you can't say, oh, I want to be a wife or a husband, but then you're still out here entertaining all these people, got all these people in your phone, and you're just like kind of just going with the flow and not starting to preserve yourself. Like I think that's a big thing when you really want to share your life with someone, is you have to start becoming that person before you can be that person. So I feel like I started becoming a wife, like wanting to take care of myself more, started thinking about family and, how should a wife carry herself? So when I went out, I wouldn't be just getting dudes' numbers or letting them just like be in my face and stuff. Like I really started carrying myself like I was already married, like somebody was already, mine, and I had to represent myself that way. And same for men, men be like, oh, I want a girl who does this, but they still be out here playing games and talking to 50 million women and, just doing all this messy stuff. And you can't do that, because it's conflicting. Like you have to start becoming the person for the blessing, and that goes with everything in life. So that's just like a little story of how, me and Drew met and how we're here. And 4 years later, we are finding God. We are finding the truth. We weren't vegan at first, but we were trying. And if you watch my video of how I went vegan, that'll tell you kind of more of how we transitioned, and we did it together. Like I've encouraged him, and I've came to, God has convicted me of stuff, and God's convicted him of stuff, and we keep going back and forth with that, and we bring each other down the path. And like that's exactly what we prayed for. And so all I know is that we're gonna keep getting better, and it's gonna be a great story. So that's all I wanted to share with you guys today. I hope you guys have a good Sunday. I'll probably go live again tomorrow, and I don't know what I'm gonna talk about, but I know God will put something on my heart. I hope this message finds you guys well. If there's anything you guys want me to talk about, leave a comment below. If you want me to elaborate on anything, just let me know.